guys, I'm Mike Caviani, Dog Behavior Program Manager here at Austin Pets Alive. So we're going to be showing you guys now how to work on teaching sits through distractions. All right, so we've talked to you about how we teach sit in general. We've talked to you about kind of our philosophy with that, and we've shown you how to work on duration. So now your dog knows how to sit and hold that sit for a while. Great, good job. Now let's work on how to teach that dog to hold his sit with stuff going on around in the environment, right? It's cool that your dog can hold his sit in the house or in your own backyard, but can he hold that sit when you're out on a walk at Zilker or at the trail or wherever you're walking around, okay? So, working through distractions. The first thing to really, I think, have a firm understanding on, we talked with the intro to sit on how we don't like recommanding, right? And we talked about why. But reminding, which is similar but different, is a really good idea. It's a really good way to support your dog to hold their sit through things going on in the environment that might entice them to not sit. So let's just break down the difference, okay? So recommanding, bad. Recommanding is your dog is supposed to be sitting and they get up, or they never even sat in the first place. You told them sit and they didn't sit. That's when, and then you say sit, sit, sit. That's recommanding. They're not currently sitting, but they're supposed to be, and you keep saying it. That's what we want to avoid. But reminding, that's a really good call. So here's the difference. Your dog is currently sitting, but let's say you see a bicycle starting to wheel past you. You think, that bike rolling by, my dog might get out of his sit, right? He might break his sit. So as that bike comes into view, say sit again. Sit. The dog's already sitting, right? You're just trying to make sure you're telling him like, hey pal, keep doing what you're currently doing even though this distraction is happening, right? This distraction's about to happen, but I want you to remember you're supposed to be sitting. So sit in a timely kind of strategic way. That bike shows up, the dog notices it, he's sitting, and then he's like, ooh, bike. And then he hears you, sit. Oh, right, I'm supposed to be sitting right now. Cool, I won't get up. So it's a good way to support him through distractions. So that's the difference between a reminder and recommanding. Reminding good, recommanding bad. Okay, now that we understand that, we can now kind of understand how to work through distractions. So what you're going to see is you're going to see Amy, our dog behavior adoption follow-up manager. She's going to be working with Tug, one of our dogs up for adoption. He's really good at holding sits. He's really, really good at it. But we're going to now make sure he's good at holding sits through distractions, okay? So we're going to add some distractions around the room. It might get kind of goofy, but we're going to make sure that he can hold that sit as distracting things come by. So if he holds that sit, he'll get rewarded for that. If he doesn't hold that sit, you'll see Amy apply that really gentle but steady application of leash pressure as we covered in the intro to sitting. What we really want is we really want him to see the distraction, make a choice. What do I want to do? Do I want to get up? Do I want to look? Look. And that's what we're going to reward right there. But we're not going to prevent him from making the wrong choice. And we'll show you kind of in the moment as to why we choose that. All right? So let's see how it goes. This will be Tug and Amy working on sits with distractions. Thanks, guys. Yay! Good boy, Tug. All right, so now we are working on sits with distractions. So we've got Amy here and we've got Tug, and we're going to show you how to work on your dog holding his sit regardless of what's happening around him in the environment. This distraction is going to vary from dog to dog, right? Some dogs are distracted by other dogs, people, bicyclists, squirrels, whatever the case may be, right? So you're going to just kind of plug in whatever the distraction is to your dog into your training. For Tug, we're going to add just kind of different things. We don't have dogs in the room right now. Maybe that'll be a video we show you guys in the future if people want to see that. That might be something that we actually want to do. But for this, we're going to use kind of people and things because Tug loves people. So that's great. We don't want to discourage that. But at the same time, not every single person wants to deal with a dog running up to them, right? So Amy's going to work on keeping Tug's focus and holding his sit while different distractions occur around the room. So we talked about the difference between reminding and recommanding. You're going to hear Amy remind him periodically, strategically, to help keep his focus and keep his head in the game, but you're not going to hear her recommand, okay? And we'll see during the video if, I need to kind of further delve into the difference between the two, all right? So we are working on distractions now. Hey, how's it going?
Sit.
Good to see you.
Hey.
Good. Very nice. So Amy reminded him as I walked up. You might be out in public and someone walks up to see you. So Amy reminded him as soon as the distraction occurred. We shook hands, and then she rewarded him right after the distraction finished. So we're just going to keep kind of throwing distractions at him. So let's just kind of mill around the room. So we're just going to mill. We're going to walk around the room and just kind of be people walking around. All right, just kind of milling around. Nice. So Amy is looking for a few things. She's obviously looking for him holding his sit, right? We want Tug to hold that sit. So notice Amy is reminding him periodically, strategically. Also notice Amy is not holding that leash super, super tight right now. Notice how there's really no pressure on the collar at all. We don't want to tell Tug, oh, we're worried about this. If you're worried and you're really afraid your dog's going to get out of position and you're putting lots of tension on that dog's collar, you might actually make him really concerned about these distractions. Nothing to be concerned about, buddy. We just want you to hold your sit. So no tension on the collar at all. Amy reminded him a couple times periodically when the distractions got really close and rewarded him for holding that sit, but not only holding that sit, but also checking in with her. You guys may or may not have watched our video on why we love rewarding for eye contact, but you're seeing Tug look at Amy a lot. So the gold star for distraction work is the dog looking at the distraction, holding his sit, then looking at you. We actually want him to notice the distraction, right? We want to know that he's seen it, processed it, and then made the decision, oh, cool, a squirrel, no big deal, look at my handler. Right? That's what we want. That's the jackpot moment. I'd actually prefer that than over the dog who's just staring at you like 24/7. I'm not going to complain, but I want to know the dog has seen the distraction and made the choice on his own to hold his sit and check in with you. So now we're going to add maybe a little bit more challenging distraction. We're going to grab some items as we're walking around the room. So we'll see how that goes, okay? And don't mind our kind of goofy antics, all right? All right, how's it going, pal? Hey, bud.
Yes.
Just gonna kind of move around, do things that people might do. Nothing to intentionally scare him, obviously, but things to make him as good of a dog as can be. So just moving items around, things that might happen out in the real world. Moving chairs, maybe oh, so he broke sit because of a ball. That's definitely a hard one for him. So good point though, right? So let's say you add a distraction and you find out, wow, that is too distracting. That's okay. Work towards it. File that away in your brain. All right, tennis ball, Tug, man, he's not ready for that distraction. That's okay. Work towards that. See if you can get him proofed on other things and make that something that you work towards, right? So there you go. So it's a really good call. So we're going to try carrying the tennis ball by. Bouncing, maybe he's not ready for that, right? But let's just kind of have, yeah, there we go. The ball's just being carried by. And Amy reminded, you can see Tug's a lot more interested in that distraction, right? But he's holding it together. That reminder was really well timed by Amy. We'll see if, there you go, nice, perfect, right? He was like, I really, 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 really want to run away and get that ball, but he held it together. And notice again, this is huge. Amy is not preventing him from screwing up. She's not talking to him constantly saying like, look, 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 look. She's not putting her body in front of him. She's not keeping him really tight on the collar. He's got to make the choice. Amy's going to give him the information that says, this is what I want from you, and this is how great it is to make this choice. And if he gets up, he gets that really just mild, gentle leash pressure. So then he can make these decisions on his own. That's a trained dog and not a dog that's just being kind of micromanaged and prevented from ever really making a choice, right? We want him to make a choice and just learn, is it the right choice or the wrong choice? So that was pretty dang good. So that's teaching sits with distractions. Thanks, guys. Yay, good boy, Tug.